Welcome to In the Library with
Marsha
and Adrian. And today is July 14th of 2023, and we have with us special guest,
Liz.
Yay! Liz, do you want to say where you work or where you're at?
I work in circulation at Bedford.
We are at Bedford today, so I will forget and mention things going on here, and then I mean Bedford. So you want to tell some of the things you do here at Bedford besides just circulation? Name some of the awesome things you do.
Sure. I do all of our young adult displays, and I do our young adult book club. I also do a lot of signage. I make our printed out monthly calendar, and I help out with anything else that anybody needs.
And what age would you say young adult encompasses?
Generally middle school to high school age, sometimes a little older, sometimes a little lower. I guess it just depends on their reading level and what they're used to.
Since I've recently turned 90, I'm assuming that's a little outside the...
A little bit too old for young adult.
Fair enough.
You still look like a young adult, though. I feel like here at Bedford, we made it a little bit younger because we're so heavy in the junior high. Mm-hmm. So yeah. I think our original intent was high school, and we found out the junior high walks over a lot more. So, and then the teen summer reading is going on. I know you're involved in that too a little bit. So there is summer reading for all ages, but the teen is going on. Yeah, I was thinking that when I was trying to think of all the amazing things you do, because like you just cleaned up the makerspace too, or even just, I know when we've had late night concerts or Shakespeare or whatever. I mean, coffee maker. We always say that, other duties is assigned. I feel like you are the perfect, you always jump in and just do whatever is needed. So
I love doing things like that. I like being here for those kind of events and getting to help out with them. I mean, it really is a lot of fun.
Yeah, you're awesome like that. And one of the other things I love, one of my favorite, I have a lot of favorite things about you, Liz, so this isn't one of them, but I also love the way that you are so friendly and always smiling and greeting people, but also when you show them where things are, you walk them to there. I love that. I love that. There's a lot of people that do that. It's not just you, but some of the things I've recognized about you is your amazing customer service and how you just kind of follow it all the way through, and you just really, it's like a personal shopping experience with you. And I love that. If only Adrian worked as hard and as good as you did, Liz.
Oh, yeah. Adrian, you really got to step it up.
If you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be?
Oh.
He asks the thought-provoking questions. Mine are boring.
Are there any trees that aren't very tall? I'm not very tall.
Like a shrub or...
Yeah, I feel like it'd be like a shrub or something. I'm not that tall.
That would be a nice little...
And I'm not that old yet either, so I haven't...
True. A little baby tree. Like a sapling.
Or like a Christmas tree or something, yeah.
That's a good one. Or a little, arborvitaes. They're kind of... That's perfect.
And what tree would you be, Marsha?
Oh, I don't know. I love lots of trees. I like a dogwood. I like a tricolored beech. I'm going to go with tricolored beech, and I'm going to live by the lake. That's where I see them. That's what I think of.
That sounds right.
What about you?
I'm pretty sure I'd be a dandelion.
Like we're going to say
it's my favorite kind of tree.
Yeah. Dandelion tree, a weed. He's a weed.
All right.
So I was going to talk a little bit about, and fair coming up. We've been talking about fair a lot lately on here, but I see you've signed up for fair shifts too.
This is my first year doing it. I'm super excited.
Yay. So I kind of love doing it only because I love to see people from all over the county. Certainly Bedford patrons there too, which is always fun. I've been directing them since now I work across the street from the fairgrounds, and not to forget that you can park there at the Ellis Library. Different libraries, including the Bedford Library. So different library friend groups. Friends of the Library will take a day and they'll raise money for their local friends group by using fair parking there by donation only in the grass, not in the actual Ellis parking lot, but if you're looking at the library and the grass on the right. So if you want a place to park at the fair and you want for a donation only, it's a little bit like playing Frogger because you got to cross M50. But if you want to, so I always recommend people park right there at the Ellis Library, especially if you're working there too, because if you walk across the M50, the street, we're right there in the Expo Center, which is right by the Ellis Library. So staff for sure, but anyone who wants to park at the Ellis Library, and I've been telling them, come see me. I'm trying to take a fair booth shift today. I love seeing the people there. It's so funny, especially the teens will see you and wonder what you're doing there. Plus, there's all that good fair food to eat, and so I love it. I love working the fair booth. It's very fun.
So, what kind of things are going on at the MCLS fair booth this year?
So, I don't know. Last time we didn't give away the game. We didn't give away what the game is, but I guess I could kind of give a little bit of a preview. So, we always have book giveaways every day. There is one for every age, like a children's book, a teen book, an adult book. You can certainly register for all of them, even. And every day we do a different set of books. So if you are camping out there or staying out there, you can certainly, enter to win every single day. And it'll be sent to the nearest branch to you. So more chances to win. It's a lot like the Bless you. It's a lot like the Bedford Trade Fair. I always call it like trick-or-treating for grown-ups. You know, people come, they're serious. They come around with their labels, their address labels, and they're in it to win it. So there is that. But we also have interactive games. We are having a giant word search, which is really fun and interactive. Of course, candy. I'm always in charge of getting the candy because I love it. And so we give away candy. We give away free books. We always have flyers to talk about our programs. And then there's some interactive games. There's a guessing game. There's a word search game. And there's usually some sort of interactive coloring game. So it's very fun. It's fun to work and it's fun. I feel like people are always kind of congregating around there, which is fun. Yeah. So
I'm super excited.
Yeah. Plus it's air conditioned. That's another great thing. Back in the day, we were not in the air conditioning. We were outside. And now I feel a lot. Before I used to just feel like a ridiculous sweaty mess. So if you are at the fair and you want to break from the heat or the rain, people hide in there during the rain too. Come on in and come get some candy, talk about books, come see Liz or me. I plan on trying to be out there did you sign up for any fair booth shifts? Oh no, you're gone. I've asked you 100 times.
So we actually, Audacity crashed. I need you to repeat the last 4 minutes, please.
Stop it. I see it still going. He always does that to me because he's like, I want to do back and forth, but you're like a train, like like a train wreck. So, a freight train. You didn't say train wreck. You said a freight train. I did one.
What are your thoughts on garden gnomes?
I think they're cool. I think we should get some more for around here. We have such nice gardens at Bedford.
Why don't we have more gnomes?
We need to get Molly to invest in some garden gnomes.
Like a little librarian gnome.
I think if you really want to mess with her, you should start putting them out there and not tell her. Yes, and then she's going to wonder where all these garden gnomes are coming from. Like the painted rocks,
but then there's like hidden little gnomes. Or when they go mushroom hunting.
Oh, yeah. They're little gnomes out in the woods.
Some garden gnomes for here. I love that. You love garden gnomes. This has come up before on here. I'm never original. I just always recycle your old ones. Like, what's your favorite pizza topping? And he always has like really thought-provoking, off-the-wall questions.
You were going to ask something.
Do you own garden gnomes, Adrian?
No.
You just like them?
No.
Okay. Oh. I don't think I would have them for me, but I think they'd be fun here.
My sister, her apartment is full of them.
Oh yeah, so like inside even decorative gardens inside.
Like what are you gonna do when the garden gnomes rise and start trying to conquer humanity?
Befriend them.
Yeah.
Why not? What do you think I'm gonna do? They're gonna be my friends. Yeah, so I grabbed one of Liz's amazing July events calendars. So all of our events can be found on mymcls.com. Mm-hmm. And she has been doing this amazing thing now for almost like a year now, I think. Time gets away from me. Where she has done a nice little cute printable version. Because a lot of times if you're out in the community or you're with maybe a senior citizen or somebody, they just kind of want to see it all in one place. I would want this to hang on my fridge, even though I could look online. But it's got a spiffy little QR code, which would link you right to there. And I'm always saying, come to all the libraries. It's free, especially if you're doing story times, library hop. Here at Bedford, there are 10 a.m. movies on Wednesdays. The Rabbits are still coming on Mondays at 11. Their Tuesday nights are the evening for the summer reading programs. And there's just so much on here. I was looking at this and, I forgot about the Scholastic Book Fair coming up. Are you working that too?
I am.
You'll probably be helping with a lot of that, setting it up. And now, did you help with that in the past? Were you?
I haven't. Nope.
See, like lots of firsts for you for everything. So the Scholastic Book Fair is super fun too. That will be going on at the Bedford Library the week of the beginning July 24th for the last 2 weeks of July. And it's in the Round Room, which is off the children's area. And it's so cool. Like you can come buy Scholastic books. The kids use their summer reading tokens to get like they can buy a book with their tokens. It's really a great thing. So if you are getting ready to go back to school or you just want to come and get some great books, that's a really fun, there's tons of them. They bring in like these giant metal things of books. Yeah, it's fun. And it's fun to work too. So Scholastic Book Fair, Bedford Library. Do you want to talk about some programs? I feel like I'm not talking. How about you talk about these, Adrian?
What's your favorite joke?
I don't think I tell a lot of jokes.
You asked me that before and stumped me, but shout out to one of our friends at the library, just sent me one this morning and it said, as an accountant was saying, I've been a bookkeeper for years. And the library was not very happy about it.
Oh.
It seemed topical. Topical. Thanks, it seemed topical. He just sent that to me, and I plan on getting a lot of mileage out of it. This seemed like the perfect place to launch it.
I'm going to tell my favorite joke.
Okay.
It's a knock-knock joke, but you have to start it.
Oh.
Go ahead.
I can't start your joke.
No, you just have to say knock-knock.
Knock-knock.
Who's there?
Tried knock-knock jokes on him before I knew this was a trap. It's a trap. I knew this was a trap. He will refuse to answer my knock-knock jokes, so that's really funny. We have a volleyball team that is very silly, and we tell jokes. A couple of them are teachers of elementary or middle school, and they use jokes frequently. So we always kind of bring jokes to our games. So I'm always interested in jokes for classes or grown-ups too. But I really liked that bookkeeper joke. I plan on using that a lot. Also, since the book sale here, the Friends of the Bedford Library are selling book bags, which are really cool. I really like them. They're big canvas bags. And so I wanted to mention that if you need a book bag or a canvas bag, you can buy them. The proceeds will benefit the Friends of the Bedford Library. Stay here in Bedford. So support your friends, whether you're buying books or better yet, buy some books, buy a bag, fill it up. Yeah. Everybody wins and you get books.
This is before your time. But are you Team Pirate or Team Ninja?
Like a reference to something that I am supposed to understand?
Yeah, no, this was well before your time. There used to be a huge thing over whether pirates or ninjas were cooler.
Pirates, I think.
I'm going pirates, too.
I think pirates are
Although I love a good ninja, I'm going Team Pirate. What are you going? I always call you a ninja. Are you Team Pirate or Ninja?
I don't take a side in this war. They will both kill me. It's fine.
I would pick pirates.
I would want to be a pirate more than I would want to be a ninja.
Same.
I'll tell a funny story.
Yes, please.
So I have an older sister, and she has my grandmother's name. And my parents didn't know what they wanted to name me when they were having me. And they were watching Pirates of the Caribbean. And Elizabeth Swann is in Pirates of the Caribbean. And my mom will tell me as much as she wants that I wasn't named after Elizabeth Swann from Pirates of the Caribbean. But they were watching that movie, but that's what they decided to name me. So I was named after her.
That's a great namesake. And that's fun. So you have you were like, yeah, pirate for sure. And that's funny. I love that. I love that.
It makes me sad because I went and saw Pirates of the Caribbean on my 50th birthday.
You could just call him Grandpappy from now on. Grandpappy Adrian. My coworker, Jackie, up at the Ellis Library and Reference Center, was married last year, and they did a Princess Bride wedding theme. So the groomsmen...
That is the coolest thing.
Oh, and it was on Halloween, so they're guests dressed in costume.
That is the coolest thing.
I wish I would have done this. But so all of the groomsmen were pirates, and all of the bridesmaids were princesses, like of their own devices. And the pictures are awesome. Yeah, ask Jackie for some pictures.
I would love to see that.
I'm obsessed with it. I make her show it to everyone. And I was like, why didn't I have a Princess Bride wedding?
That is so
now that you brought up pirates, I was like, the Dread Pirate Roberts. Yeah, I love it. I would probably get seasick, so I would rather be a pirate in my mind. I'm not so sure I could be a pirate in application, but I'd like to be. All right, back to you, Adrian. Seriousness.
Very briefly, Facebook for Beginners will be at the Bedford Branch Library Saturday, July 29th, 2023. From 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Learn how to set up and use your own Facebook page to connect with family and friends. This class will cover all the basics, including how to add a profile picture, add friends, send messages, and more. Registration is required as space is limited. Now, back to the more serious stuff. What would you do if you found a penguin in your freezer?
Oh, I would probably have to, call someone. I would call, the zoo or animal control, and...
I would keep him. I'd get a bigger freezer.
I don't think he'd do very well in your house,
Probably
Marsha.
not. Probably not. I'd have to put in an ice rink. That's a great question. That's funny. Because at first I'm like, oh no, you'd unthaw him. And I'm like, no, he's a penguin. He's fine. He's fine. He's fine in there.
He's frozen
He's
solid.
Cool. He's cool. He's just...
I don't think my freezer is big enough.
He's probably eating my snacks. He's probably eating all my ice cream.
Okay, so this is completely unrelated, but I just this week learned that flamingos are called extremophiles or something. You can freeze a flamingo, and so long as you thaw it out the next day, it'll be fine.
What?
Yeah.
I always think of them in tropical climates.
Me too.
They can stay in cold climates. I didn't know that.
And water and...
Yeah.
Apparently they're incredibly hard to kill. They can drink water that would be
Really? Because it looks like I could just break their necks.
But they can drink water that's so salty that it would kill another animal and be fine.
In the ocean?
They can be frozen overnight and just thaw out and they're fine.
Who knew?
They live in the heat.
They're not given the credit that they should be.
Yeah.
We typically ask what somebody's reading. And this reminded me of another story about you, Liz, because I could sing your praises all day. But when we would have frequently classes of all ages, high school, middle school, there are so many times I would say, Liz, do you want a book talk? And you, without any prepping, would be like, sure. And you would grab some of your books. And I love the connections you make with the kids. I was thinking of the one time when they were doing a sophomore project, and you talked about the book that you did, Snow Falling on Cedar. You talked about the book that you did for your sophomore project, and I love the connections you were making. So even just book talking with kids or patrons of all ages, I also love that. So what are you reading now, or what do you want to book talk now?
So just this week, I picked up It by Stephen King again. I've tried to start it 2 other times before, and I've never gotten to the end. And I've given myself to the end of the summer to get through it. It's like 1,100 pages. It's probably going to take me about that long, but that is my next book project. I'm going to get through it. Everybody has to hold me to that because I need to get through it this time.
You can ask every day, are you reading it? You're in charge. Oh, I love that. I love that. That's a good one. We're Stephen King fans, and I don't know if you like Stephen King, but we like horror.
I have a love-hate relationship with Mr. King.
Mm-hmm.
I think
haven't
most
read
people
a
do.
lot. What I've read is pretty good.
Yes. I feel like they're great, and then all of a sudden it's like he ran out of time or forgot, it didn't really know how to end them, and then the endings get crazy, and you're like, what are you doing? This is so good.
That is always my issue. The
Mine
start
too.
of his stories are so good,
Yes.
but the endings usually fall flat for me.
They do, because all of a sudden you'll be like, what are you doing? The ends get so crazy. And I mean, like his mind. So I do love him, mostly love, but you're right. By the time I'm at the end, I'm like, because the beginnings will be so gripping, and you're just like, what?
Yeah.
No, I love that.
Or like even the ones where they do end mostly okay. Like you've read The Stand?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
The Stand has an excellent intro. It's really good until just about like a third of the way through. Then there's an entire third of the novel that's like, why do we need this?
Yes.
I was just talking to, shout out to Tara, our new circulation
Yay,
clerk. I was talking to
Tara.
her about this yesterday.
Who also knows the band song.
She said the same thing. I said I was reading it, and she's read it, and she was like, I feel like you could cut out like 30% of that book and it'd be the same book. Like a lot of it goes into heavy detail that might not need to be as detailed.
Especially in the bigger ones like It or The Stand or anything that they've made into like Langoliers. I know they made them into like little mini-series because they were such long books, and I agree. It's almost like it's a whole like book in a book because you're like, wait, what is happening? So I think we're all kind of on the same page with that one. But I am a fan, and I do like it.
Was that a book choke?
It was a book choke. Full of them.
It was really funny, Adrian.
Yeah, Adrian. Not funny to Adrian.
What are you guys reading right now?
I just did the literary libations yesterday.
Okay.
With libations, with librarians. I did that yesterday, and I have been killing, which you guys might like too, because you love horror books. So you can hear this in both places. If you tuned in, you saw my face, now you're listening to me. I have been loving Frida McFadden, which I also just recently learned is like a TikTok sensation. So that's probably like why everyone loves her. But I love those books. Have you read her yet?
I haven't.
I love her. So the Books on Tap ladies and I were kind of obsessed with her, and we like follow her, and I emailed her. And of course, like I said this, her first question or her first comment was, everyone says to her, how do you do it all? She's a surgeon and a mom and an author. And she said, and then their second question is, can you come meet at my book club? Oh, which is what I wanted to ask, but I didn't ask. I already love her in general, but her books they keep me guessing. So there's a minimal number of characters, say like 6 or 8 characters, and they all start like dying off, and you're like, what? It's like the killer's among them. And you like, I normally pride myself in guessing endings. Like I'll shout it out. I ruin every movie for my husband. So now I've taken to like writing it down, and I'll be like, see, I knew. And he doesn't care. I don't know why I have to do it. So I try not to ruin stuff anymore. So I pride myself in like, even if it's a twist, I'll be like, oh yeah, I saw that twist coming. But in her books, I tell you, I am pretty much always wrong. So I'm suspicious of everyone, and she plants just enough seeds of doubt where you're like, oh, now I don't know. And so I love that it keeps me guessing. They also are short chapters. So I like just short chapter it till it's done, till 2 a.m. Because if it's a book like it, I'm going to get to the end of a chapter and be like, you need to go to bed. But if I look and I'm like, oh, just one more. And then all of a sudden it's 2 a.m. and I finish the book because I couldn't put it down. So I love Frida McFadden right now, along those same lines as Mary Kubica. And I've been listening to these all on Hoopla too. One of the things I said about going to Ellis is that I would enjoy books on my drive time. So hers are kind of the same way where they keep me guessing. So yeah, I like anything. I really like murdery. We talked about this yesterday. I love murdery books and especially quick reads.
Yeah.
How about you, reading anything good? You still got that same book in your signature line? Did you change it yet?
I haven't changed it yet. I was off this last week and I didn't start anything. So I'm not currently reading anything, but I've got Don't Fear the Reaper sitting on my desk, so I'll probably read that next.
I'm usually reading a lot of things. For my non-murdery book, I'm also reading Spare, which is the Harry.
Oh yeah.
I'm reading that, which I'm really liking that too. I got that in large print, so I feel like I'm burning through it, but it's just because it's giant writing. So yeah.
Do you like it so far?
I do.
I haven't read it yet.
Yeah, I do. I really like it. I knew I would because I thought, I'm kind of curious about. I like him in general, but his whole story, because it really talks about everything, like his time in the service, his time as a young boy, his mom, this time in the service, and then. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's really good. I had a couple people tell me I'd probably like it. So yeah, I kind of read all over the place. I don't know. It's so hard. I think you guys can understand this too. It's so hard to work in a library because we're unpacking boxes. We see all the new books. I want to read every one of those. Then a patron returns one and I'm like, oh, this looks good. Or patrons or book club members will tell you should read this. So I feel like my book list just every day I add more than I read.
And I have, every time I tell people this, they think I'm insane. There are 6 bookshelves in my house. All of them are full. And I keep buying more books. So
and you work in a library.
I do, yeah. So like we'll get things in the friends room, and I'll pick up things from there, or I'll go and find books at like thrift stores. I go to the new bookstore all the time.
Oh yes.
And
isn't that wonderful?
It is. Oh my gosh, I love it.
I can't say enough nice things about that place. I love that Goodwill bookstore. It's set up so amazing. It's so fun. I love the things that they sell too.
Me
for
too.
the individuals that. Oh, I love everything about that place. That's so well
done. And I'm there all the time, and I pick up more books. And then I come here and I check more things out, and my TBR list gets bigger, and then I add more, and then I will like reread a book I've read like 10 times. Like I just can't. There's just too many books.
That's how I am too. Sometimes I like to pretend like I'll think of in my head if I was filling bookshelves of all the books that I've read in my life, and it's kind of crazy because sometimes I feel like, I haven't really read in a while, but then if I'm book talking to classes and I start pulling, I'm like, man, I have read a lot of books in my life. I have read these,
yeah.
I'm also old. I'm also ancient, so that's the reason why I've read so many, but I am getting through them. It just feels like lately I've been burning these, and I love Hoopla. A good reader. I speed it up a little bit. My husband calls it chipmunk volume. I speed it up a little. I get through a book every other day. So this has been really catching me up. I've been listening to a lot of books. I love them.
No.
Are you an audiobook person?
I do listen to audiobooks.
I am not an audiobook person. I would love to be. I think it'd be super convenient, but I find myself either
changing the channel on the radio or thinking of something else. I've done that before where I'm like, clearly I'm not tuned in anymore.
I'll put it on and like work on something else. And then I'm like, all of a sudden I listen again and I'm like, wait, I don't know what's happening.
Right.
Or I'll put it in and I'll sit down and then I'm like staring at one spot, just listening. Right. And I'm like, I could just be reading the book if I'm going to sit here and do nothing.
Funny. So that's funny.
I'm not an audiobook person. I can't keep focus enough.
It took me a while to get into them because I felt the same way. I love to sit and like read a book. I still do. I still love the book and the paper. Right. But I love them now too.
I think my problem with audiobooks is that I'm something of an audiophile. So every time I sit down to listen to an audiobook, I'm like, I could be listening to an album from somebody.
Right, something else instead.
Yeah,
that's true.
I'm a big music person.
Yeah, me too. So I try and find a balance. Where I'll do a little bit of both. Maybe audiobook in the morning and then jamming out to some music with my windows down on the way home or something. I find a little compromise. Yes. So is there anything else that you'd like to share about what's your favorite thing about working for the library?
Oh my goodness.
I know, clearly I didn't give you any prep to these. I'm just firing questions at you. What's your favorite thing about working here?
I think my favorite thing about working here is just the type of people that we get to interact with, all the different types of people that we get to interact with. Everybody that works with me here, they know that my favorite place to be is out in the lobby. We have a desk out there, so as soon as people walk in, I get to say hi, I get to talk to them, I get to help. When they're leaving, I tell them to have a good day. They tell me about what they're reading or the things they're doing today. Or I love things like that. I love getting to talk to people, see regulars and meet new people. And I think that's my favorite thing about being here is we see so many people every day and so many different kinds of people. And there is never
a dull moment.
Yeah. Never a time not to talk to someone.
And it's something different every day. Yeah. You like to be where the action is. I'm like that too. I love that you're like the greeter. You're like the library greeter. But yeah, I do. I would have to agree with that. It's always different and helping people. Probably. I think that's why most of us are in this. But yeah. I don't know. Should you say your least favorite or do we not want to? Adrian's like, we better not cover stuff like that.
Yeah. I don't know. There are not bad things to say about being here.
That's how I kind of feel too. That's how I feel too. There's probably things I like to do less. Adrian knows my technology. Adrian knows my weaknesses.
The staff, the least favorite part of working here is working with me.
Nice try. You liven this place up. Adrian.
I was going to say, I think we would all have a lot less fun if Adrian was not working
Adrian keeps the fun going. Keeps the fun alive.
All right. We're coming up on our time, so this has been In the Library for July 14th with
Marsha
and Adrian and our special guest,
Liz.
Liz the pirate.
Thanks, guys.